Hiya, right, Plastidip part 2 of 2. Sorry there's been a delay on this. It was the 6th of April that I did the last one, and I wanted it to be a bit of a long-term test. It's been 400 miles now on the bash plate of the Big Tigger, and I'm really impressed. So this is the results for you. This is part 2 Plastidip test. This is what I think. It's not any way an authority, don't profess to be an expert and all that, but this is what I found about the stuff. I've got 2 test tiles. First I want to show you this. This is the stuff. Now, a friend Ed said, look, if you're going to paint it on a painted surface, this is just rattle can satin black from the auto store, and I sprayed it on there. Now the first thing I've noticed it's done is it's gone matte. That's the painted surface. I've peeled it off. That's the painted surface back, and it's taken the shine off, but that would come back reasonably easy. I don't think it affects it. This is the stuff. It just peels off, and that was deliberately thin, just 3 coats, and it comes off a treat. Absolutely no ill effects, none at all. It has, as I said, made this, just rubs off. I think there are plenty of videos of it coming off of bodywork and being pulled off of cars, but it has just made that satin black almost a matte finish, whereas it was like that. So it could be that wasn't quite cured, and that's the effect. However, the real test is 2 things. I want to show you first of all how it's fared on the bash plate of the Tiger, and then when you see how good it's been, how indestructible it's been, and you might have seen just previously, a few days ago, I put it on the sump guard on Penny's New Bonneville as well, because I'm that impressed with it. This is a tile of it here, a bigger tile, and I've got some ideas as to what we can put on it to make it a little bit more durable and a little bit more long lasting and look slightly nicer than the surface of a tyre, which it does at the moment. So let's show you how it washes off. It's amazing. Right, so here's the bash plate of the Tiger, and all I'm using is soapy water and a brush, and I'm just deliberately giving it what for, in the hope that if it does, if it's ever going to come off, I'll make it come off now. And that's a tough old brush, that's a dishwashing brush, which I love using things like exhausts, because it gets everything clean. Now that's the kind of beating that I wouldn't give paint. That would definitely mark paintwork. So here's the test of all tests. Literally just scrub it. There we go. One more.
And this side.
And the rest of it.
Yeah.
Let's come on round and stay there. That's it. Good old scrub. Now, so, like I just said, if this was regular paintwork, you'd be absolutely destroying it now. So if it stands up to this, folks. Sorry, am I splashing you with my suds? There we are. Right, let's rinse that off.
Like you.
There we are. Right, let's get a towel on that. Let's see what damage we've done. There we are. How's that? Absolutely none. Bear in mind that's silver underneath, so if there's any marks in that, if there's any breaches in it whatsoever, you'd see it straight away. Have we gone through it? What's that there? Nope.
Couple of little nicks under there.
Is there?
Couple. Like little nicks.
Stones and stuff.
But it's alright.
Ain't bad, is it? There we go. Let's let it dry off a bit. Let's get some light on it. That's drying off nicely. Rather amazing. Okay, so you saw that, pretty indestructible. That's been 400 miles of beating on the road, 2 tiny nicks in it, and that's all. And as you just saw, honestly, robustly scrubbing that hard with a brush, not a mark on it. And you really couldn't do that to paint, could you? Honestly, would you do that kind of thing to paintwork? Obviously not. It really is pretty good. It reminds me of that stone chip stuff that you put on bumpers before you spray them. pretty cool. Now there's a couple of things I want to just show you here. This is the 5 coats on that, so that's a proper thick full coat. And there's a difference. That's unpainted and that's the Plasti Dip. You can feel it's rubber. It is literally like rubbing the side of a tyre wall, which gave me a thought. Tyre shine. Obviously that surface isn't always desirable for the bodywork of your bike. So what about, and this is literally thinking while I'm doing it, just a little bit of tyre shine. Because it is rubber, give that a little shine up. Just going to do half of it. Microfiber cloth. And just give it a little buff up. Comes up quite nice. So there's a few options. Get that in the light? You bring the sheen back.
Yeah, you can see the sheen on it. It's whether it dries again.
Indeed.
Dull.
Well, that's pretty much dry, you feel. That is it. And just to show you again, as simple as it is. Now this is a point, I wanted to get it actually take this off here, because it was somebody who said be careful painting it on uncured paint or not fully cured paint, because it will bond itself and not come off. It will pull that original paint off. Well, it doesn't. It tends to be fine. It's extremely well stuck. Nothing seems able to get it off other than deliberately peeling it off, even a scrubbing brush. So there we are, as you can see, it just comes off. That's not quite thick enough to rip off in one skin. If I'd put another 2 or 3 coats on, it would be. But that's not done any damage to the underlying paint, not pulled it off at all. So that's it. Plasti Dip, it's fantastic. I'm going to be painting the Tiger bodywork in it. I've got the tank cover on it, the vinyl tank cover, which is great because it gives me a tank bag, it gives us extra luggage for the big trips. But the remaining sections, like the fairing, the front half of the mudguard and the side panels, I'm just going to do those in black Plasti Dip so that the whole thing's matte black, and it will also last. It will protect this perfect paint job that it's got, because it's pretty much an unmarked bike. I want it to stay that way, and it was bought really as a workhorse to do the miles. So if it's going to do that, I don't want it suffering. And as you saw, even on the bash plate, in the nastiest area of the bike, unmarked. So we're going to be investing in a good dozen tins of that, so I can get it a good 5-6 thick coats, and that will be hopefully the right way to keep it in good condition, so that when I come to sell it, it's still mint underneath. And that's what a lot of people do when they buy supercars. They get them all dipped, and then they can just rip it off when the time comes and the cars are unmarked. Okay, Plasti Dip, love it. So
Let's do more.
Let's do more. Right, so see you next time.